Hello and welcome to today's video where we're going to cover the two series that took place in the LPL earlier today, as well as preview the two series that are going to take place in about 7 or 8 hours or so. So, first we have Anyone's Legend. Ultra Prime went 2-0 on the day once more in predictions. Pretty easy one here. Anyone's Legend better in all 5 roles. I did believe Ultra Prime had potential to take a game because they had already played a series against IG and actually won it. And Anyone's Legend may have came out flat. And in game 2, it was sloppy out of Anyone's Legend. But the entire time, it was kind of like they have this game under, like they're going to win this series. They're clearly the better team, just hands dipping their opponent. So in game 1, at 14 minutes, they had an advantage big time in top lane. Ale up 3.1k gold and what I thought was, it was either 58 or 68 CS. I went with 68. It was hard to make out the CS numbers at the time the first turret fell at 14 minutes or around there. Ale on the Rumble really destroying Qingtian. And I believe he was on Darius in game 1. It was a massive diffy. And then the other 3 roles in areas, Anyone's Legend were ahead in those as well. Krakow had a solo kill in this series in game 2. No, actually in game 1, sorry. Game 2, I have it separate. I'm not mixing them up in this video. So the top side of the rift just way ahead of Ultra Prime in the case of Qingtian and Hack are just no chance in hell. Grubs, 4 of 6 went to Anyone's Legend. The other 2 would not be taken. They took Rift Herald. Ultra Prime took 2 Drakes. Anyone's Legend took 1, and Anyone's Legend only needed 1 Baron, getting about 4,600 gold with it and ending with it. Game 2, Anyone's Legend were in a good spot, but they threw it away. Got careless, got excited, if you will, and really just disrespecting Ultra Prime around the topside river, allowing Ultra Prime back into this game. And that happened twice in Game 2, where eventually they finally just took it over and won it. Shanks had 2 solo kills onto Yukai, absolutely smashing Yukai in the early laning phase. He was up 23 CS, but because they threw those mid-game team fights, Yukai actually had 200 gold in Yukai on Tristana, and I believe he was on Tristana. It was either Trist or Corki, and Shanks was on Jace. It was just, it was kind of just goes to show you just how much Anyone's Legend threw. That despite having 2 solo kills, Shanks and 23 CS lead, that he was behind Yukai at around 14 minutes and 15 seconds. Krakow had 824 CS. He was on the Karthus in game 2 and really farming it out. He actually was behind in terms of pace of play compared to what Ultra Prime were doing. Sorry. Actually, he was ahead of I swapped them. Jesus Christmas. It's clearly later than I would like it to be. Just finished watching this series here. Anyone's Legend went bot lane twice to help Hope and Cal. Hope would end up actually securing 2 2v2 kills. Doggo returned the favor, getting 1 in the bot lane 2v2, so something there to kind of think about. It's not a big surprise. Doggo and Nickhat are, just kind of getting their feet wet together. Nick had, his second career series against Hope and Cal, which I would consider to be a pretty damn good bot lane, very underrated. I don't hide the fact that I think Cal is one of the most underrated players in the world. I think he is a great support. Laning phase as well. All 6 grubs went to Ultra Prime because Anyone's Legend were throwing fights around the second grub spawn and Rift Herald, which allowed Ultra Prime to get that. Anyone's Legend took 3 Drakes to 1. Anyone's Legend took both Barons, getting about 2,800 gold total between the 2. Totals for the series, 8 plays to 3 in favor of Anyone's Legend. During laning phase, Ale ends up ahead, 1.3k gold overall, average between the 2 games, and 40 CS average. So you can say that the top lane was a difference maker. 600 gold lead for both Krakow and the bot duo of Anyone's Legend compared to their Ultra Prime counterparts. Mid lane, despite the 18 CS lead, Shanks only had on average 50 CS. Grubs in favor of Ultra Prime. They split Rift Heralds 4-3 in Drakes overall. Barons, all three went to Anyone's Legend, getting about 7,400 gold total. Shanks led the way in damage, going 6-2-12 with 26% and 2 solo kills. Hope had 2 2v2 kills as he had the best KDA at 7-1-9. Ale, a solo kill also against Qingtian in game 1. Yukai, 5-7-7. Krako also with a solo kill. But Yukai 5-7-7, 33% of damage in the loss, and Doggo with a 2v2 kill. Thunder Talk FPX, this series made a lot of sense to me. Okay, so both teams, first series out there, I had FPX winning at 2-1, and these teams are close. You know, if you really, like, everyone's riding the hype train of Milky Way, and I'm kind of hitting the brakes on that. I want to see Milky Way play more games before I'm crowning him as a top 5 jungler or even top 10 in the world. And in this one, I thought Beishwan did very well into him. Hell, over the 3 games, Beishwan actually has a 467 gold lead on average and 18 CS lead. And you can say, yeah, that's champions, this and that. And it's like, yeah, well, both teams played pretty sloppy. And both junglers, I mean, Milky Way did get a couple smites on Beishwan, which is definitely part of the jungler's job. I'm not going to deny that. But Milky Way is a carry-oriented jungler. I think he got a little out-carried by Beishwan in the early game in this series. So game 1, UCal would get a solo kill. It was one of 2 he'd have in this series. A very slow first 14 minutes. Both teams only making 1 play. Grub split 3-3. Thunder Talk securing 4 Drakes. However, Barons, they would get 3,800 gold total between 2 Barons. But the rest of the series, Baron sieging was absolutely atrocious by both teams. The majority of the Barons actually being negative in terms of gold. If you factor in the fact that they get 1525 right away, they actually had less than the 1525 by the time the Baron was done. Like, the opposition were able to put up a fight, and not only that, I mean, hell, FPX won into Thunder Talk's Baron in game 3. So the sieging was absolutely atrocious. But in game 1, Thunder Talk with 2 had 3,800 gold, which was important. They were able to win utilizing those Baron pushes. In terms of the laning phase, 800 gold lead for Hoya, an 800 gold lead for the bot duo of Duckdom Life. I would consider Duckdom to be a candidate for the MVP of this series, and we'll get to that about his game 3 performance. But yeah, so game 1, Thunder Talk ahead by quite a bit. Beishwan 38 CS as well, keeping Milky Way under control. Neither team really getting much off in terms of outnumbered situations. Game 2, UCal would get another solo kill as well as Beishwan. Laning phase ended at about 15-15. However, FPX, the more active of the 2 teams, going mid lane, ensuring that Care was in a good position. And in games 2 and 3, Care was ahead of UCal quite a bit in the laning phase. Game 2 at 15-15, he had a 1.6k gold lead. And it was on Care's back to deal damage, and he ended up leading the team in that category for a reason. They invested well into it. I mean, it was a good investment by FPX and Milky Way to ensure that he was in a good spot. I think even Life ended up making some trips there. And in game 3, Duckdom had Ash arrows go across the rift. That gave Care the lead and kept UCal under control, despite UCal still finding a way to have 2 solo kills in this series. 900 gold lead for Jala, who is well in game 2. 1XN and Chow Chow doing well into Duckdom Life in the 2v2 in game 2. Had a 1.1k gold lead. I think 1XN was leading the entire game in gold when laning phase was coming to a close. 30 CS. FPX did secure 4 of the 6 grubs, Rift Herald, and 4 Drakes to 2. I believe they started stacking Drakes after Thunder Talk took the first 2. So I think it might have been 4 Hextech Drakes in game 2. So, of course, that's going to be beneficial. Of course, you know, stacking Drakes, they end up with a very, very strong situation going on. Now the Barons. So both teams had a Baron. FPX's Baron, negative 60 gold. So when it was over, it was 1465 or something. Instead of the 1525 you start with, they had 1465 3 minutes later. And Thunder Talk actually ended up with nearly negative 1900. So Yeah, yeah. So that's a terrible Baron, and in part why they lost. If you're not using your Baron properly, what do you expect to have happen? Beshwan, like I said, with a solo kill as well in game two, but couldn't utilize their opportunities in terms of taking Baron. Also, FPX in this series very bloodthirsty. I think they had maybe over 30 kills in game two and very high kill count in game three as well over 20. The kill per minute pace was off the charts. Despite the plays not being a ton, I mean, hell, between the two teams, we have 8 and 8 plays between all three games. So averaging only 3 plays a game in the laning phase. And you look at the kill total and you say, oh wow, how did that happen? A lot of skirmishes around objectives and for control of the jungle that were not outnumbered. They didn't seem like a planned play per se. More so just, hey, we ran into each other and we're gonna fight over this territory or this objective. Game three, Beshwana had 1K gold at about 14 minutes, but Kara had 1.2 as well as Duckdom Life. So massive leads on the bot side of the rift for FPX. Like I said, Duckdom had a couple timely arrows across the rift that secured Kara an advantage, secured FPX an advantage in key team fights to get objectives. Plays, Thundertalk went topside big time. So they went to the jungle twice to actually get quite a lead in the early game. They put both Chow Chow behind as well as I think they got a hold of Jalahu on the Kennen as well. But by putting all this emphasis onto Hoya's Jax, so Hoya was on Jax and they went topside twice, UCal even on Talia to put Jalahu behind, that's not where you want your gold to be. I'm not an avid Hoya guy. Personally, I would have rather went to bot lane with 1xN and Chow Chow, who showed in game two that they had the potential to carry. Hoya seldom has ever really shown the ability to carry. So that was an interesting decision, and in part why they lost, despite this game going very long. Thundertalk finding a way to crawl back into it, taking a Baron with Beshwan on Karthus. It didn't really make a damn difference because you put a ton of your gold into Hoya, who would dive in when 2 members of his team already died to end the game. But regardless, Thundertalk took all 6 grubs. FPX took the Rift Herald. Drake's 3-2 in favor of Thundertalk. However, I have FPX here with negative 3,500 gold, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be Thundertalk with negative 3,500. Like I said, the game ended with FPX taking the Nexus as Thundertalk had Baron. So that is a thing. Now, Duckdom Life, both with solo kills or 2v2 kills in this one. Total plays 8-8 in, well, not in favor of either one, so 8-8 in terms of making things happen. 933 gold lead for Care on average. Beshwan 467. The others under 300 gold, slightly in favor of FPX. Grubs 11-7 in favor of Thundertalk, but FPX took all 3 Rift Heralds. Drake's 9-8 in favor of Thundertalk. Barons, why did FPX take both those Barons? Or did I just... Man, my numbers are all over the damn place. Thundertalk averaged about 1,900 power play across 3 Barons. And I have on here Thundertalk defending 3,500 gold on average, total for the 3 Barons, but I don't think that's accurate. So you can ignore that part. And I'm going to have to correct it. I am accumulating stats, especially LPL stats, because the fun stats are not to be had, and I'll release a weekly video in regards to that. So just ignore that part. The stats, Life a 2v2 kill, Care 21-8 and 29% of damage in the win. Duckdom 14-7, 33 with a 2v2 kill. Had the best KDA. Beshwan had a solo kill and also led in damage, 15 and 12 and 21, 27% of damage. UCal, 2 solo kills himself in the mid lane. Preview for tomorrow, LGD, Team We. LGD haven't played yet. Team We beat RNG 2-1. Last time they played Team Wii would win 2-1. 7 of the 10 starters are the same. Team Wii, a different bot lane. They had Prince Iwandi then. They have LP and Mark now. And Shawi played for LGD in that one. Kepler's playing tomorrow. So Wayward, Hung, Fofo, top side of the Rift, went 33, 20, and 56, 71% of damage in the win. Birdall, Meteor, Haichao went 18, 27, and 32, with 63% of damage in the loss. Afterwards, we have EDG and JDG. Neither team has played yet in summer. Last time they played, JDG won 2-0, and only 4 of the 10 starters are the same, including all of EDG. EDG ran Ale, who's now with Anyone's Legend, Monkey, who's a free agent, 0909, who's a free agent, The Snake, who's a substitute, and Vampire, who now plays for IG. And JDG had Sheer start in that one and play in that one, and Flandre is playing tomorrow. So the star of the show was Ruler, going 15, 2, and 11, 31% of damage in the win in that one. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter. Hope to see you again tomorrow.